After doing these power supply tests and wrestling with the scope probes, I started to look for a little different way to attach the probes without using long ground leads, especially for when I may want the probes connected for long periods of time. And I didn't want to solder wires onto the end of my probes that came with the scope, so I started looking at some really cheap scope probe kits, something cheap enough I wouldn't mind tearing into and possibly destroying. I ended up trying this Amazon kit out. It's a THSINDE brand, but I saw identical looking scope probes listed under a bunch of different names. Now this kit came with some BNC adapter cables, banana plug to BNC. Actually seems pretty decent quality. Hook clip to BNC, alligator clip to BNC, a male BNC to male BNC cable. Too bad this is not a bit longer. I could cut it in half and make 2 probes out of it, but at about 40 inches it's only long enough to get 1 out of it. And 2 switchable 1X 10X scope probes, and considering the entire kit was $24, they have to be some of the cheapest scope probes made. The 2 probes run $12 to $13 by themselves, so half the price of the kit is the probes and the other half is the BNC cables. $6 a scope probe and $3 a BNC cable. This is just so cheap. Can this stuff even work? But I figured with all this, I should be able to make me a couple of solder-on scope probes, and that will make testing a bit easier. Now, one reason I selected these probes was the fact that the compensation trimmer is on the plug end. So I'm hoping there are very few parts on a tiny PC board with the switch, and maybe I can cut it off close to where the switch is and attach wires, and that will be great. Let's see if I can get this thing apart without destroying it. It's not an incredibly cheap feeling probe. Well, that popped off pretty easy. Looks like the metal tube continues into the handle. Nothing under the switch cover. The wire strain relief seems to be just some flexible plastic. Looks like the metal tube is crimped really well to the cable end, and I don't want to damage the cable end, that's for sure. I'm just going to cut off the plastic handle part and try not to poke the cutters into my hand in the process. Well, I guess the plastic handle was pressed on. I couldn't get it to budge pressing on it though. Looks like the metal tube is all one piece. These definitely are not made to get into. Let's see if the tip will pop off. The tip plugs in, but the plastic just pulled apart and didn't even come out of the metal tube. That crimp is very solid. I guess I'm just going to have to cut into it and see what's what. It does look like a PC board is in the larger diameter part of the tube. I'll try cutting the smaller diameter part of the tube off first. Oh, the PC board may be a lot longer than I would like. Yeah, there are parts on it. Let's see if I can cut the crimp area of the tube from the base of the cable connector. Okay, got it cut. Now spread it a bit. That is a long PC board. Well, that's not what I was hoping for. Guess I lost the gamble on these probes. But all is not totally lost yet. I'll get this PC board removed from the cable. Looks like the center conductor is 4 to 5 strands of copper, so no special lossy coax for these cheap probes. So I need a new PC board. I had some of these little terminal PC boards still around, and I think I can make them work. They are a lot thicker, but just means a bit more grinding. There are 3 resistors and 1 capacitor. A 240 ohm, 4.3 meg ohm, 4.7 meg ohm, all in series. The capacitor is across the 4.3 and 4.7 meg resistors. Of course, I don't really have anything to hold this small of a PC board, but by using the very edges of the PC board holder, it's working pretty good. There is copper on the back of this little board. I'll have to scrape off the solder mask and tin it. Of course, this PC board is about twice as thick as the board I pulled out of the connector, so I'm going to have to work on the connector a bit. Okay, I've got it just wide enough to get the board to push into. I should have cleaned off the solder mask on the back a bit better, but that will still work. I think if I were to make a PC board for this, I could probably get the size down to about a third of what this is, but I'll see how this works out over a few months. See if it will be worth the effort to make some thin PC boards. It's not as small as I would like, but it will do. I'll put some heat shrink over it and then test it out. First test will be if what I'm calling a probe now can be compensated. Yes, it can, but it is at the very end of the range now. Still looks good. I'll hook it up to an I2C line, see how it does. I will probably move to shorter and smaller wires if this works. The idea is to be able to solder to test points, vias, or as a last resort, a terminal on an SMD part. The pulses look clean. I'll compare it to the standard scope probe. The upper trace is the Rigol scope probe, the lower is the new wire attach probe. The turnoff does seem to be overshooting some. It is there a bit on the regular probe. This is a regular I/O pin on the MPU pulling to ground. I think these have fall times on the 3 to 4 nanosecond range. With the added capacitance of the probe, there's a lot of current switching right there. Probably should have put a series resistance in that line, but I didn't. But I think this is going to work. Monitoring digital lines will probably be the bulk of what I use these for. I guess I'll know for sure in a few months how useful this endeavor has been. Thank you for watching.